This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Parrott, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to another episode, now weekly, of the Nightwing News. I am Phil, and joining me as always is...
Hello, I'm Kristen.
That's right. Part 3 of our big 80th anniversary of the character Dick Grayson.
Man, part 3 already.
Mm-hmm. Yep. January's just flying by.
That it is.
All right. So, yeah, this one's going to be kind of different because, well, we got 3 issues. They go together. Yeah. So the first one is Teen Titans number 14 from 1968. And then we go to the Titans 15 and 16 from 1999. Or no, 2000.
Easily accessible in here.
Yeah, 2000.
I know, look at that.
Wow.
Well, the entire run of the original Teen Titans, they managed to get it, because it only went like 40 some, but there was a big gap. But they managed to get it into 2 omnibuses, one Silver Age and one Bronze Age. Yep. I must admit, I kind of like the Silver Age ones better. But okay, so the Silver Age ones goes all the way through 24. I kind of like them better, but they're super cheesy because Bob Haney, I'm not quite sure how you say his last name, but his attempts at teen slang are very ugly.
Oh, yeah, hip cat.
Wonder Chick. But hilarious, in retrospect. I feel like reading it now, you're like, but
well, this whole first one, Teen Titans 14 from 1968, I just found very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get it.
Let's go.
All right.
I mean, it came up first.
Yeah, 1968, Teen Titans 14. Yeah, it opens up with Robin at the grave of Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, and Aqualad, and the gargoyles basically, it's your turn, Robin.
Yep.
Creepy.
Definitely.
Creepily, like, take your clothes off. Robin's like, okay.
Well,
and then he's like,
he mostly just wants him to take off the mask.
I know, he wants him to shed that identity. I know, but then he's like, take your mask off, and he's like, then Robin's like, no.
I know, but I think Gargoyle's a pretty cool villain.
Yeah.
Maybe because gargoyles, that's like kind of medievally. That's my shtick, but
did they ever fully explain like what the gargoyle was?
Well, I'm pretty sure a gargoyle must be some kind of demon, interdimensional being, whatever. I mean, I think he lives in limbo.
Well, that's the weird thing about this story, because unless I'm just like slow, I'm just like, did they ever fully explain? Because like later in this issue, Gargoyle's like, I mean, the whole trap is like he gets the other Titans to doubt Robin because he's like, oh, one of you framed me for a crime.
Right?
Did they ever explain what crime or was he just completely making this up?
I assume, yeah, they don't explain it, so I assume reading it that it's a sign that he's just making it. He's making it up. That Gargoyle is some kind of demon sort of entity.
Mm-hmm.
That lives in limbo, rules over limbo, and he wants the Titans, so he just makes something up.
Yes. I get. Again.
I mean, that seems to make the most sense to me.
Yeah.
That he would make it up, because he also seems to maybe have a few things that he doesn't really understand about humans. For instance, that sometimes we can act. So
yeah,
that makes me think like maybe he's not. Because if he were a villain, I mean a human villain who was pretending to be Gargoyle, surely he would understand that if humans can act, like, because that'd be what he was doing.
Yeah, because that's the beginning of this issue is like, basically Robin sees the ghosts of the other Titans and then Gargoyle's
right. And I think he'd have to be some kind of magical other being, or he wouldn't have those abilities.
He's like, it's your turn to go to limbo, and then he's like, oh, you're making that scary face. You must be ready.
Yeah. So I think he's some kind of I think he's some kind. Yeah, I think it's just a lie because he wants to sow suspicion among the Titans. And then we go to their Titans lair, and I love their little jokes, like, to the Titans' best wishes, LBJ. No. That cracks me up. And from one Fab Four to another, the Beatles.
Oh, yes.
Also like that. And the little jokes, Kid Flash, don't be late for the next meeting. Because isn't that supposed to be a joke with all the Flashes? They're like, even though they're super fast, they're always late.
Oh, yeah. Back in the Silver Age, that was like Barry Allen's big thing is like, if he's the Flash, he can't be on time for anything. So he has to pretend to be slow and late for everything. Yeah.
I see. One of those.
Because there's no way the Flash could ever be late for anything.
One of those classic misdirection kind of things, I guess. Yeah. Like a playboy like Bruce Wayne could never be as smart and disciplined as Batman.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see. Yes.
But yeah, so.
But I think it's actually a really good story. I mean, it's definitely one of the best of the original Teen Titans stories because some of the original Teen Titans stories are kind of goofy.
Yeah. And I mean, it obviously made a impression on Devin Grayson, as we'll get to in the next two issues. But yeah.
For sure, yeah. But and I think it's a particularly good story if you are like we are more into Robin because it's a very good Robin.
Oh yeah,
Robin story because he comes out looking the best because the other three, which I feel like is not super nice to them. They're like, oh well, it must be Robin because he's the smart one. So like the three of us would be too dumb to withhold evidence.
That's like the rest of them are like, oh, Robin does all the paperwork, so it has to be him.
Right? Yeah, they're like, oh, it must be him.
But yeah, because they flash back, they show the Titans, and then Gargoyle goes to the local TV station because the Titans have like a weird thing where anyone can get on for like 5 minutes and talk to them or something. Like they pay for that.
Bruce Wayne pays for that. You know
that.
Yeah.
You spent how much on what?
Yeah, but I also enjoy let's not get stopped by a crowd of teeny boppers. I was like, teeny boppers.
But yeah, no, when Gargoyle gets on camera, he says, I'm wearing this costume as a secret identity. But I mean, for all you know, he's a really
Oh yeah, I think that's definitely really him.
And he's like, I'm an ex-convict sent to jail by you Titans unjustly.
Mm-hmm. And so but then it's so interesting.
That's what confused me because at the end I was just waiting for at least one line for like Robin to say, oh yeah, well he was lying just to create this whole mess. But they never.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to take that leap of faith. Oh, I also forgot that it's interesting, which they do a little bit address it in the next ones, but and like Teen Titans Year 1, there's 5. And originally the Teen Titans were just 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not quite sure how they picked those 4, but yeah, it was originally Robin, Wonder Girl, Kid Flash, and Aqualad. And Speedy was just like an occasional guest star. And then later he kind of became a Titan. And then they expand in the Bronze Age, which is one good thing about the Bronze Age when they get like Mal and and Karen Bumblebee on there, which that I like, but I personally don't like the Brontes as much because they get Hawk and Dove and those two super.
Yeah. Well, like with these four,
anyway.
I think they just picked the sidekicks of like their most popular heroes. Like if Superman would have had a teenage partner, he would have been on this team.
Yeah, and I assume this is around the time when, I think Justice League got started right around what, like 60, 61? And Green Arrow wasn't initially in the Justice League, was he?
No, he came in. I think it was at least a year or so before. Yeah,
so maybe that's partially why. Yeah, these are the most prominent sidekicks of the main Justice Leaguers, because the original Justice League was 7, and it was like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash,
Aquaman,
Green Lantern, right? Aquaman, and was Martian Manhunter in the very first version of Justice League?
Maybe. Oh yeah, because yeah. Well, when they first appeared, before they even got their own book, what was it, Brave and the Bold or something? I think it was just Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman, and was it Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern? Maybe, yeah. And then like they added Superman and Batman, I think, when they got their own book.
Yeah. So yeah, that's probably part of the reason why Speedy doesn't make it in. But yes, anyway, Gargoyle with his magic ring, we find out, sows dissension, and because he's made the other Titans suspicious of their friend, they get sucked away into limbo.
Yep.
But Robin is not suspicious of his friends. He's just like, I assume he knows this guy's lying, so he's not sucked into limbo.
Well, I think one of them was Wonder Girl. One of them even thinks, I can't remember who it was. One of them was like, oh, well, Robin collects all the evidence, so it's like,
right, yeah.
So I'm assuming Dick was just like, well, I didn't frame anyone, so I'm pretty sure we didn't frame anybody.
Right, yeah. So he's not suspicious, so he doesn't get caught.
I just love it. It's almost seems like a Three Stooges episode at some points, because when the Gargoyle's on TV, he's like, quiet, chuckleheads.
Well, I guess they were trying to be cool.
And I guess the secret entrance for their helicopter into their lair was behind a billboard because, hey kids, you know how old this one was? It says, Batman now on TV, miss it never.
Yep, that's right.
If you like Rob, he's on there.
Yep.
Oh my lord, they even have a bat pole.
And then the fire. Robin does accidentally start, and then now he's trying to go it alone. Which I think that's funny. He's like, I could go back to Batman with my tail between my legs. But it's like, but are you already like doing this Teen Titans and simultaneously working with Batman?
I know.
So
what is but 68. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's full time, but yeah, isn't he? Yeah, back and forth.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't gone to college yet, so he's like indeterminate age.
But yeah, I mean, that was like lucky. It's like, yeah, the Titans get zapped to limbo, like this theater or the whatever sets on fire, and like Robin's cape like sets on. It's so weird because he comes walking out. It almost looks like half his costume's been burned off.
Oh yeah, although I think it's more like it's been ripped off.
Yeah.
But yeah, his cape was on fire, so his cape must be. I mean, Batman would of course think of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have fireproof capes. So it goes back to the lair. I do like their escape hatch through the laundry. That's pretty funny.
I know. I was like, wait, laundry chute? Because then when he comes out the other end, it doesn't look like he like comes out by the river.
Yeah. I mean, so I guess you could put your laundry down there.
I was like, okay, gang, who's gonna go down to the river and beat our clothes with the rock?
Yeah, like it's the 60s were not that long ago. You have washing machines. You don't need to go beat your costume on the rocks to clean it. But then that page after he gets out into the river, I could go back to Batman. I do love the newspaper. You see in the little corner, it says all the news that fits we print. Which is funny because isn't that the New York Times? The New York Times slogan is all the news that's fit to print.
Yeah.
So I like, that's funny. That's cute. So I thought that was funny.
And the thing
a little bit.
And the thing I don't like about Dick's, he's usually so heroic. It's just like basically he doesn't even like try to get to the Titans. He's basically like, oh, they're as good as dead, stuck in limbo. I can't go to Batman for help. It's not until like, crooks are like beating him up and stuff that he's like, oh, I can't do it on my own.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Yeah, it kind of seems like his first thing should have been, I need to get my friends back. Because anyone who knows, Limbo, it's the in-between spot.
Yeah.
Hello. So yeah, maybe they just needed a couple pages. Needed him to really realize, because the overarching theme of the story, of course, is the power of friendship. So they needed to realize, and then he goes and tricks the gargoyle, and then he's beating his friends up.
We're still under control. He really looks like Robin Hood there because he took off that red.
Right, yeah, and he has he's all green. Yeah, he looks very Robin Hood. Oh, but yeah, that reminds me of their like weird thing that they were always talking about in the 60s, and you would always see on the Batman show where he's like, I wouldn't hit a lady. And they're always, remember in the 60s show, they're always like, we can't hit a lady. And then they always have to do some excuse of like, but you're not a lady, or else they just don't hit her. Or maybe that's why they had to bring Batgirl in onto the show, so they had a woman who could hit all the other women. But it's like, oh, brother. Always very cheesy. But anyway, he defeats
Robin tries
the gargoyle
through
the power of acting.
And he tries to use that magnetic repeller, but hey, everything in Limbo works backwards.
Exactly. But then somehow he gets the guy caught. I guess the utility belt is kind of leathery, so he gets caught in it, destroys the ring, and boom.
Yep, brings all him and the Titans back, and he's like, I guess Gargoyle's stuck between here and Limbo.
Mm-hmm. I know, you couldn't help him even if he deserved to help. So yeah, I mean, I guess I can understand that does sort of throw a little bit of confusion. Maybe they wanted to leave it open, that like, is this guy some kind of weirdo limbo being? Is he a criminal who is just getting his powers through the ring? Is he some sort of demonic entity? Maybe they wanted to keep it open in case they use him again.
Yeah.
So they didn't. Because that kind of implied that maybe he could be brought out of limbo, but if he's this kind of limbo being, then he would stay. Anyway, but yeah, it is just funny though at the end when she's like, "What happened?" He's like, "You'd never believe it." I'm like, wait, are you gonna explain what happened to them or not?
I know, it's just like,
Later things imply that he must have, but that's just kind of funny because it's like the lesson. You kind of need to remind them about what happened because the lesson is the importance of teamwork and the importance of trusting your friends. And if you're just like, something crazy happened, you wouldn't even believe it, then they don't get to hear the good lesson.
I was trying to look up some info in the Gargoyle to see if he appeared between 1968 and 2000.
Oh, in the like
Anywhere.
DC wiki or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm just doing like a Google search.
But it's cool. It's a good story if you're a Robin fan because it emphasizes that he is.
Oh, wait a minute. After being defeated by the heroes that would one day be known as the Teen Titans, Mr. Twister was once again contacted by the Antithesis. However, this time he was brought to Limbo and was transformed into the being known as the Gargoyle.
Where was this?
It's on Comic Vine. It says he appears in 11 issues.
Gargoyle does?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Click on that. Maybe it'll tell me. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, here's DC Comic or DC Fandom. Come on, open. Yes, this is. I don't know.
I mean, he's a pretty good villain, though.
Yeah. So do you want
I dug him.
to get to these Titans issues?
Yeah, so, and he was cool enough that he came back later, which was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yes, Titans 15 and 16 from 2000, which, unlike that last issue, these aren't on, you said these aren't on the DC Universe app, at least yet.
Yeah, I couldn't find them unless I was looking in the wrong place or something. Maybe I was.
Unless they're coming soon. I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
But yeah, I mean.
Okay, right. So 15 is first. So this is
May 2000.
Yeah, so this is the Titans that started in 1999.
Yes.
There was like a break for a few years where there wasn't any Titans,
Mhm.
or there might have been like Team Titans or something. But then, yeah, in the first issue, they're like, the team you demanded is back or something. So they got the band back together.
Oh yeah, they did. I mean, it started out pretty big. It was original Titans, and you even had, I mean,
and Cyborg and Starfire.
Yeah,
it was
Beast Boy. You even had Jesse Quick. You had Damage and what's her face? Yeah, you had some of the newer characters too, but things are getting
Argon or something with an A. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was one of the biggest. It was a pretty big lineup.
Oh yeah.
Since it was pretty much the originals plus also the new Teen Titans. Although I don't know if Raven was in the group.
Was Raven in this?
Well, I think she was at the beginning.
Yeah. They whittled it down by the time they got to, what was it, issue 20 or 21, they had like whittled the team down. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, this one already by 15. I think this is after they had that fight with like Slade and Adeline.
Yes.
I think. Yeah, and so Raven might have left after that or something.
Yes.
Anyway, stuff's been happening because everybody's, an adult now and has lives and stuff, and they're very busy, so they kind of been snapping at each other. And life has been rough, so Donna says, all right, let's go
camp out on an island.
Go on a retreat so we can get our act together.
Yeah, so we got the original 4 from that first issue, plus Roy Harper's here.
Right, and everybody's in their grown-up versions now. So Donna's what, Troya? So she's going by at this point, I think.
I think so.
Wally's Flash. Dick's Nightwing. Roy, I think, is Arsenal at this point, though, right?
Yeah, it's Arsenal, yeah.
And Aqualite is Tempest.
Yeah, Tempest.
So they're grown. So they're in their adult versions. And they go to some random island. And everybody's getting really mad at each other.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, there's outside influence, but 2, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here because 1, Wally had, very long story short, he had been lost in the Speed Force and other dimensions due to abracadabra, and then there was like an alternate older version of Wally who showed up, and he was like hanging with the team for 2 seconds. So Dick's all like, "Oh, what did you just send him?" Yeah. I think we wouldn't notice and all this, and then Donna has trouble with Wally too because one of Wonder Woman's enemies like erased Donna from like reality or something, and the only way they were able to bring her back was like through Wally's memories of her.
Yeah.
So, and she's like, I'm not, she doesn't want to be seen as this goody two shoes, version that Wally imagined. So now she's dating Roy.
I know, yeah, which is kind of awkward, because, like, do you really like Roy, or are you dating him to prove that you're not a goody two shoes? Like, that's kind of freaky.
Yes.
Like, that wouldn't really make me feel bad about myself if I were Roy. And it was like, oh, you're dating me because I'm bad. Not bad, but like
And then
boy type.
and then Tempest is all mad because he thinks Arsenal is kind of I don't know, racist towards him because he's an Atlantean.
Right, which is funny because reading the one that we did, 14, they all call him Gillhead. But for whatever reason, I don't know if later on that became more of a thing that just Roy called him.
Yeah, I don't know, because they seemed like they were all calling each other names like that first one.
Yeah, they definitely were. So yeah.
Yeah, so not only are they arguing, but then a storm hits and
yes,
Tempest tries to protect the ship by putting in a huge block of ice, and
yep.
Dick's trying to build a.
And then I mean there are some funny things. When Roy's like, I'm leaving, and Dick's like, you don't commit, and then Roy's like, oh yeah, well, I'm the one that has a kid, and you're the one that's never gotten married and stuff. And then he's like, I almost got married, and Donna's like, you've been to the altar more than most of us, honey. I assume that must be a reference to the one with Corey, and then the fake thing with Emily.
Oh, the annual, yeah, because Grayson wrote that too, so I'm pretty, it's probably a
right
that too, yeah.
Which we'll read later. I always feel like that annual works better as almost like an alternate universe. I don't want to say alternate.
I'm trying to remember. I don't.
As like a one, it works better. I mean, it is a one shot, but I think it.
I don't know. I thought I heard somewhere that it's supposed to take place before his first ongoing series.
Yeah, I mean, it comes out didn't it come out in 1997? So, I mean, it was during his ongoing series.
But I think it's supposed to take place before issue 1 or something, yeah.
Yeah, probably. But the thing with that annual, which we'll talk about whenever we get to it time later this year, is I think it's a pretty good story, but when you stop to think about it, you're like, that was a pretty jerk thing to do. And so it works. I feel like it works better if we place it not in continuity, but as like, hey, isn't this a fun issue that we wrote that was supposed to be based on like a pulp romance story?
Yeah.
Wasn't that fun? Kind of like how when they did the like Warner Brothers and DC crossover, like I have a feeling that's not supposed to be in continuity. Like surely, I don't know, but like surely Dick isn't like, oh yeah, now I'm friends with Magilla Gorilla. It's totally cool. So anyway, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. But I assume it's a reference to that.
But yeah, I just love all the references like the rest of them make to him being, Batman's sidekick and just
not with Roy. They're like, he's not an original member anyway.
Oh,
I mean, which is true, but like, dang, burn.
I love Dick trying to build like that lean-to or whatever in the middle of the storm, and he can't get it. Can't get it together.
Yeah.
And Wally's like, Batman would have had that built by now, right?
I know. I mean, the Batman jokes are like a little like groaners, but also fun, but also funny. Yeah.
Where's Dick? He's over there trying to use his bat night vision goggles to locate a bat umbrella in his bat utility belt. Oh, and by the way, in case you forgot, Wally's like, he's impervious to rain and wind and cold and thirst and hunger and having to use the bathroom because did you know he was trained by Batman?
I know. Which I feel like he doesn't say that often, does he?
I don't know.
But maybe it's just because
because I don't know if the rest of them are more willing to like break the rules than he was, or at least as a kid.
Well, I mean, I know that is kind of like a big thing in his and Roy's relationship is Roy's always like, you're too, like, you follow Batman too much, like you're
too worried about what he's gonna think.
Yeah, like you're too obedient to Batman, kind of thing. And then of course Donna's like, when we break up to Roy. Roy's like, when? I was like, ouch, dang.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty rude.
But yeah, they're all sniping at each other, but then they find this cave and Dick like goes in and blows the entrance with him as the only one inside.
Yeah.
Or is he the only one inside?
It turns out he's not. But yeah, it establishes everybody's anger and how they're snapped. Dick closes the cave. Would Batman do this? Actually, Batman would 100% seal himself in the cave away from everybody else. And then Gargoyle's in there. About the one thing that I can't decide how, I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it, is the page when our Corey and Cyborg are talking to Oracle on there about how, like, I need some help. Like, Starfire needs to get back to Tamarin, and she needs some help, and how Barbara Oracle is just like kind of really snippy. I don't know. I don't know. Is it done for humor? Maybe it's like a little funny, but I don't know. I think it doesn't totally fit with my idea of Barbara. I don't think that Barbara would be, I don't know.
Well, I think
Barbara's too cool. Barbara's too cool and strong of a person to be jealous of Dick hanging out with Corey. Yes, I know. They dated, but I don't think Barbara would feel threatened by that.
I think they were getting closer at this point, so I don't know if she was just like, don't be coming between my relationship. I gave you your space when you were dating Dick, so guess what?
Right, but
and Corey doesn't even know any of this because not a lot. I don't at this point. Not a lot of people knew Barbara was Oracle. Like the Bat family knew. I'm trying to remember if anyone else outside the Bat family knew.
Yeah, I don't think so yet.
Maybe Black Canary.
Well, yeah, that's true. They probably would have started their Birds of Prey had started by this time. So Huntress knew, but I mean Huntress kind of like a bad person. Yeah. That's about the only thing. It just I don't know. It doesn't really reflect well on the character of Barbara.
Yeah.
And I feel like the character of Barbara would be above that.
I don't know. It's just sometimes when they need to make Barbara that way, they do that.
That's about my only quibble.
Yes.
With the issue, because
otherwise
it's quite funny.
Oh yeah.
I mean, also while like bringing up real issues that they have.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has like good jokes and stuff in there. And like you said, he's impervious to wind and rain because did you know this? He was raised by Batman.
But because the second the issue 16 opens with young Dick at the Haley Circus.
Yep. So now we know. At the end of 15, yes, everyone's been having issues with each other, but why they're really tearing into each other is the influence of Gargoyle.
Well, at least since they got to the island, because before that, I don't know if he...
Well, right, yes. Since they got to the island, it was the influence of Gargoyle. That's why they were, like, blowing up at each other.
Oh, yeah.
Was Gargoyle. Gargoyle, when they came to the island, he saw their upsetness or whatever, and he is feeding off of it. And yes, then we get to Dick as... Dick at Haley's Circus, which is cute. Oh, but you can see little hints how it's Gargoyle. See there, back there.
Poster.
One of their posters. Yep. Gargoyle. And yeah, and that he can tell something's wrong. Because I do love, and I think it's mostly Devin Grayson who does this, because it's in a Gotham Knights one too about Dick and the Oath, but his dad saying, like, what do I need from you? And he says, to fight against crime and corruption and never to swerve from the path of justice.
Bring that up, yeah.
His parents are like, what? And then he wants to go to Gotham, and they're like, ew, why? Gotham's terrible.
Then Then we see Donna on Themyscira.
Yep. It's like there's an island. Although, let's see. So that's probably Gargoyle there.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Side.
Oh no!
So.
Oh, see the in the first panel there, like one of the.
Oh yeah, there. Yeah, he's Gargoyle. Yep. And then we get to there's a gargoyle fish.
Yes, in Atlanta
down there for Aqualad talking to his mom.
Basically, none of them think anything feels right.
Yeah. Then Wally, and now you probably know better than I do. Back in the day when Wally was originally invented, were his parents abusive, or was that like a newer thing?
I know by the time not even Mark Waid, when Wally got his own Flash series, they started doing that where like the parents really weren't into each other, and yeah, I mean, I think his dad, it was hinted at that his dad was like that.
Okay, but was that like part in the 60s? Do you know? Because isn't that when Wally like first popped up?
Yeah, I don't think back then they really did that. Yeah, I don't think it's until Wally got his own became the Flash that they were like.
Okay, because yeah, I mean, I imagine that back in the 60s they were just like, oh, we're gonna give the Flash a sidekick. How about we just have his nephew accidentally stumble in on the experiment or whatever?
Yeah,
Boom,
yeah.
perfect.
Because
then they made it so that he was like living with him, right? Like his parents are bad parents. That's why he moves in with.
Well, when he first gets his powers, he's there for the summer to visit Iris, but then when the summer's over, he does go back to Blue Valley, and then I guess he's in and out because he's got super speed, but.
Right, yeah, that's right.
But like in his when he was the Flash, I mean, when they do like flashbacks and stuff, he even says, he's like, I considered Barry Allen more of a father than I ever considered my own father.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's evident here. There's the gargoyle wheat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, where's the gargoyle? Oh yeah, I see it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. In the wheat, and then the one with Roy. All right, where's the gargoyle in that one?
God, it's probably going to be in the rocks or one of those trees or something. Oh wait, there's actually. Oh, well, there's like maybe like 3 pages with Roy and his dad, and the dad actually like.
Oh right, yeah.
Appears to become
right. Well, his dad turns into.
So
yeah, so that's interesting. How I mean, and then this one becomes a good issue for Roy. I don't know as much about Roy's background, but he takes him back to originally with his parents. His dad, and Roy doesn't really know anything about his mom.
Well, yeah,
so
this is very meta. Like, I'm not that familiar with his early stories, but I think it was just him and the dad, because he even says, I didn't have a mother. I don't even have a story about a mother.
Yeah, because I think it's like he had a dad, but then didn't his dad die, and that's why he was living with the Navajo, and then it's from the Navajo that he goes to live with
Oliver. Yeah.
Ollie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Because his father was like a park ranger or forest ranger or something.
Yeah. So then he starts to realize something is up, and he turns into an adult. And Gargoyle's like, you were 13 and I'm your father, and there are no other options. Which this is dating them to younger, because of course they're very like loosey-goosey with the ages in the original Teen Titans, because not that many more issues. It's December 1969 that Dick goes to college, so then suddenly he's 18.
Yeah, I know.
And you're not quite sure how old the other Titans are. It's hard to tell with Donna. Wally's the only other one who's like human, kind of, since Aqualad's Atlantean, but he's not going to college. So then in that, it seems like maybe Dick is older a little. Yeah. Anyway, in this one, but it's kind of hard. It doesn't seem like they're necessary. It doesn't We can't identify them as 13 in the original one.
Yeah.
But they also don't seem like they're 17 in the original one either.
Yeah, well, all these flashbacks too are, you can say, they're before they became their heroic identities too. So. Right.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's true. That's true too. But then Dick says something about like they met him when they were 13. So then he's like, let's go to the circus, and Gargoyle's complaining. Another funny joke. You're uncooperative. And he's like, yeah, everybody knew that.
Then he goes to see Dick in the tent.
Yep, and then
makes the shadow. Looks like Batman. He's like, so you do remember, good.
Yep, and then he like turns into Robin.
Mm-hmm.
And Wally manages to come in, and Aqualad comes in, and now they're all turning in, and then Donna comes in
with Dick's dad.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, your dad's so much more like you than Bruce," which I suppose is true because that is his dad. But I am also on the side that like there are a lot of differences between Dick and Bruce, but they're also pretty alike as well.
Yeah.
And then it's all revealed, and we find out that like the gargoyle got out because there was some crisis in hell.
Day of Judgment crossover, yes.
Yep, okay. And then
but they're all in limbo.
They're like, we can't hurt him in limbo because they like beat him too easily. And now they're like, now we have to figure out what to do. And so originally Dick is like, he thrives on negativity, so we have to get rid of that.
Yeah, because they get the rest go to attack him. He's like, wait, you can't hurt him in limbo.
Yep. Arguing. So then it turns out it's good. They try to heal their rifts, which it turns out isn't exactly what needs to happen, but it's good for the team for the future. Although Roy, very funny. Oh, for crying out loud, we may not look like it right now, but we're grown men. Can't we just grab a beer and call it a day? Such a Roy comment.
So yeah, because first Dick and Wally were talking out their thing, and now Roy and Garth are talking out the stuff between them.
Yep, and then like friends, shake it. Donna and Wally, get it figured out. He says you are pretty damn perfect. And then you don't have to run around doing frivolous things to prove that there's a side to you we don't know. Roy, hey, I resemble that remark. He has good jokes in this one.
I don't want friends who
and now
time and tell me.
And then it's like, okay, so we cleared all this stuff up, but we're still here. Oh no! What are we gonna do?
So Roy says, "Can't you tell you're driving us all crazy?" And he punches Dick.
Yep, and he's like, I don't need my friends who cuddle me and tell me I'm effing perfect. That's my daughter's job. Although once your daughter becomes a teenager, she's not going to be telling you you're perfect anymore, Roy. And then yep, can you see you're driving this all crazy? And he punches him right out, and it snaps him all out of it.
Yep. And hey, thanks, Gargoyle. You
He realizes that this time Limbo is about the status quo. So last time they had to like be friends again and not be suspicious of each other. And it was like it was like in 14, the importance of warm, cuddly friendship. And so this time It's like, no, your friends aren't just to give you warm cuddles. Your friends are also to call you out on your shit. You need friends of both. You need friends of both kinds.
Yes, and I just
You
love.
need your friends to do both.
I love Roy. He's like, because they're talking about Gargoyle still stuck in limbo. He goes, "Who cares? He's still in limbo, right sides. All he ever does is chase Grayson around and try to brainwhack him."
I know. And then Dick. So that's your idea of friendship. Roy, Gargoyle's after my head, not yours. So screw it.
Yes.
And then Roy, you got a problem with that, Wingster? Dick. No, not really. I was raised by Batman after all.
Just kill me.
Roy, just kill me now. I walked right into that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, he did walk right into that joke, but it was set up so perfectly.
Oh yeah.
So.
But yeah, this was a nice little well, it's 3 issues, but I'll say nice little 2-part thing because you got that original Titans and then the effects are felt 32 years later.
Right, but not 32 years for them.
Well,
like,
not
probably not even 10. Probably not even 10. I don't know. Because I thought, doesn't he say something about we first met him when we were 13, and that's why we're looking like this? Maybe it's like 10 years for them.
But it's also weird too because you had like Crisis on Infinite Earths between there too, and like heck, even 0 Hour, and those really mess with time and the universes and stuff. So
yeah.
So yes, time and space and everything have been destroyed and rebuilt I'd say at least twice since then. So maybe they weren't originally 13, but now they were 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the wacky thing with DC. A couple retcons, and it's just like, oh.
It's probably for the best. I mean, sometimes there's just way too much stuff. Since they've been around so long, they can't. There's just too much stuff to try to fit into an actual lifetime.
Yeah.
So might as well not even worry about it. But yeah, it's a good one. I feel like I like it because I love it when they pull something in from the past, like make it work. The only problem is, of course, that could have been like kind of confusing for people who were like, who the heck is this gargoyle? But I feel like now that we have the internet, which granted this came out originally in 2000, but we had the internet then. Although I don't know if we had Wikipedia then, but now people, if you're like, who's gargoyle, you can easily go in.
Yeah.
And figure it out. So it's not too hard. But yeah, it's cool to bring that kind of stuff back.
And like looking on that quick Google search, I thought I heard it. There's at least like 1 or 2 other characters in DC who've gone by the name of Gargoyle. I know there was like at least one Batman story in the early 90s where he fought like a gargoyle, but it was just like a scientist who like transformed himself into a gargoyle.
Yeah. I mean, a gargoyle is a thing, so it's not the most unique name ever.
But at least in these ones, they kind of explained it a little more that he was this other dimension.
Right. I mean, you don't actually have to have read the initial issue because they go back to being kids and they're like, oh, this is how he remembers us or whatever. I just think if you have read the one from the 60s, it makes it just like a little bit extra fun.
Yeah, I just read the one from 1968 recently. Yeah, I picked up these Titans brand new in 2000. Yeah, I'd never read the original Teen Titans story, and I had no problem.
Right. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Oh, in the back.
So yeah, I think this is probably the only episode we're gonna do where we're gonna like jump time periods like this. Everything else we pretty much it takes place. If we do 2, 3, or 4 or more issues,
it's like a issue that goes together. Yeah, but this one kind of worked.
Oh yeah, because it's all gargoyle. Yeah,
they're all gargoyle. It's like previous background reading for what Devin Grayson did. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool when writers when writers do that. It shows they're like reading the stuff and trying to bring it all back. Make it a bit coherent if they can. And it's fun. And I think I think I read these and then later I read the original. No, maybe it might have been around the same time because the omnibus came out more recently, but there's also that like, who is it? Star something presents, or I don't know, where you can buy a bunch of comics and they're in black and white.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Like a collected edition.
Yeah, it's like a trade paperback, but it's a bunch of issues and they're really cheap because they've
all
just
black and
reprinted
white.
it all
Yeah.
in black and white.
Yeah, I
And
got
it's
a couple. Yeah, I got a couple of those for the.
Yeah, I have some downstairs. Anyway, they did a couple with the Teen Titans
Okay.
before the omnibus came out. Anyway, so I think I read it in there originally, maybe around the same time, but I just thought it really kind of adds
maybe
to it. They work well together.
I wouldn't put it past them to like, hey, include the gargoyle because we're gonna, we're putting out this old edition, and including a villain. And she was like, oh, I'll do the gargoyle. Yeah, they've done that with a lot. Like I read the first probably like 40 Flashes and Green Lanterns that way. They had the black and white edition, and Marvel's done a bunch of essential.
Yeah, Showcase. That's what it is. Showcase.
Yes.
So, yes. I was like, I knew it was something with an S.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty good way to get a lot of stuff for cheap.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, it was a good meditation on friendship. You need your friends to not be suspicious of you, but also sometimes when you're doing some bad stuff, you need your friends to be like, hey, don't do heroin or whatever. But life lessons like that.
And I think it like shows like one of Dick's major strengths over Batman is that he has like these deep friendships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people who will call him out on his shenanigans. Because like, who calls? Basically the only people. I mean, Superman, I guess sometimes, but Batman doesn't like
Superman. It's like basically.
Yeah, but it's like, does he always listen? I mean, in his own books, it's like basically Alfred or the Robins that have to call Batman out on his shit, and that can be really hard when you're a kid Robin. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's presumably easier for Dick to call Batman out now that he's Nightwing. But yeah, that's true. Yeah, Dick has more friends, more better friends, and so yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I've always said. It's like Dick can basically do everything Batman can, but I think pretty much most of the DC universe trusts him more than Batman.
They would definitely rather hang out with him than Batman, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I say about the only thing that Batman does that Dick doesn't do, I mean, I assume Batman would, like, solve the crime faster with his detectivizing. But I don't think that Dick would make up those plans. You know how Batman has contingency plans for if anybody goes rogue?
Yes.
Yeah, for everyone. I don't think Dick isn't a planner, although I do feel like some writers kind of portray him as less of a planner than other writers do. He is better at improvising than Batman, of course. But I
don't think Dick would write them down.
No, and I don't think he would want to. I don't think he would want to prepare for that.
Yeah.
It's like one thing to know in your head. It would really suck if, some alien invaded and body snatched my friend, kind of thing. But it's one thing to know, like, I would deal with it. And another thing to sit down and like, gee, how would I kill my friend if an alien body snatched him and he couldn't get out? And yeah, I don't think he'd want to go that step.
Well, I don't know if they said this before, but it's like, basically it's always like, yes, the contingency plan for Superman is there's a Batman there to stop him if he runs amok. I think Nightwing is the contingency plan if Batman ever runs amok.
Probably, yeah. Some writers I'd say would make it Alfred. It depends.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'd say yes.
Physically, who's going to put the smackdown on? Close
right,
enough, yeah.
Right, yeah. That's true. Yeah. Probably
All right. So anything else?
That's good.
All right. So yeah.
That's why I think. Oh wait, yes. Later we'll get to the Outsiders, but I'm more of a Titans person than an Outsiders person, just because I think there's like a funness to no matter who's writing the Titans book. There's a little bit more of like a fun aspect to it than I see with the Outsiders.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not everybody writes dialogue as well and like as snappy and hilarious as Devin Grayson does in some of these. But even when people aren't as like jokey, I mean, I shouldn't say jokey. It's not really. It's like little subtle burns, kind of. Yeah. Even when you're not as good with those zingers, there's still a sort of lightness, a funness, a funness that's more family friends getting together fighting crime than there is with the Outsiders, which is a little more businessy, kind of thing. And even though the Outsiders, might be well written and stuff, I just prefer the Titans vibe.
Yes. Heck yeah.
Yeah. All right. Heck yes, indeed. All right. So what's up next week, Phil?
Oh, next. That's right. Next week, because it's weekly. Remember, for 80 years of Dick Grayson. The classic.
Right. What's our homework?
Our homework is New Teen Titans number 38, the classic. Who is Donna Troy?
That is a classic.
It is. It is. Besides Judas Contract, that's probably the Titans thing everyone knows the best.
Yeah, that is definitely. I mean, it's often on lists of like best single issue stories and stuff.
I mean,
because that's another thing is they crammed all that amazingness into one issue.
That's right, modern writers.
I feel like now, and I don't even know if it's the writers. I feel like it's DC that's like, hey, we have this great idea.
Well,
stretch it out for 12 issues so that we can make hundreds of dollars off people instead of 3.
Well, DC and Marvel, because they write for the trade paperbacks too, because they collect everything now.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, there are some people who get more wordy than others.
Spend this.
Is he wordy?
Oh yes. I mean, you'll get a whole page of just characters staring at each other going, what? What did you say? What? Yeah, you heard what I said. What? What did you say? Just like, really?
A whole page of what? Surely you can at least like be saying stuff.
That's right. So yeah,
right.
Next week, New Teen Titans 38. I mean, it's a lot of background on Donna, but also you really get a showcase of Dick's detective skills.
Plus, it's important when we're doing 80 years of Dick Grayson to talk about the people who are close to Dick Grayson as well.
That's right.
It's not just Batman and the other Robins. It's his Titan buddies.
And it's one of his last hurrahs before he gives up the Robin identity.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it's 39 that he takes the suit off, which I think we're reading as part of the Judas contract, right?
Are we reading 39?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It's in the trade. 39 is in the trade paperback edition of the Judas contract.
I mean,
we'll let you know.
Yeah, if nothing else, we can mention
when we get that. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Weeks into the future.
Yeah, because we got the who is Donna Troy, and then we got some early Dick Grayson adventures coming up, like from Dark Victory and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep, and Year One, and the Grimm story, which I love because I think it's so cute. Oh yeah, so many classics await.
All
right.
So yes,
awesome.
Send your thoughts on any of that stuff. Hey, what's your favorite Dick Grayson story? Email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call our voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And follow Nightwing News on Facebook, Twitter. Follow all the Capes and Lunatics stuff. Everything is in one convenient place. Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And remember to support our sponsors, Tweaked Audio, Hunt-A-Killer, Pod Life, the book. Pick it up. Some great writers and me in there. So yes, get it in. Put it in digital and paperback. Check the show notes for every episode for the Amazon yeah, the Amazon link for Southgate Media Group. When you do your shopping, use it when you make your purchases, and it helps support such fine programming as Nightwing News. So click that. And of course, I know you'll never promote yourself. So again, if you're
You do
listening
some
to
great
this,
job for me.
you're a fan of Dick Grayson, so pick up Dick Grayson Boy Wonder from 2015. You can find that Amazon, right?
Yep.
So yes, pick that up. Lots of good essays from a bunch of different people that Kristen herself put together. So it was made by a fan. So go get that. See,
Everyone else's fans too. It's a labor of love.
2 books. We're so literary. So yes, go pick that up.
That's right. Start
That's your hope.
2020 out in read more. Make that your New Year's resolution.
That's right. Hey, go on the social media, read all those comics we listed, and then go pick up those books and read those. So, all right.
That's right.
So again, thank you. Join us next week. Again, New Teen Titans 38.
Who is Donna Troy?
Yes, great story by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. That classic run. That was I think that might have been DC's highest selling book at the time.
I think it was, yeah.
They were like DC's answer to the X-Men at the time, I think.
I think that's why they were able to get Dick transitioned into Nightwing instead of.
They basically took him out of Apple entirely. Oh, we'll get there eventually too. Him handing the suit to Jason. The pre-crisis origin. All right. Come back next time. Same wing time, same wing channel.
Same Wing channel.
This channel. Nightwing News.
This is true.